Yeah. Just so
Exactly.
that you know, I've also got a fur kid. I saw you in one of your videos with your doggy on your bed or on the couch or something. Yeah. My girlie's lying at the foot of my bed, and whenever I do any kind of multidimensional therapy sessions or healing or BQH or anything, she's always right there with me. She's just very present, like a sentinel.
Oh, right. There's a real
Yeah.
funny one where somebody was doing BQH on me, and eh, my dog's sitting next to me the whole time, and then she takes me into this like healing temple thing, and I immediately just start playing with the energies there, and my dog just gets up and jumps off the bed as like she just felt it. You know, it was so funny.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really cool. It's like it's
Yeah.
in the video where you're kind of like she's sitting there laying right beside me the whole time, this whole session, and then just at the one point where the energies get really intense, she just like wakes up out of a dead sleep and is like, "Oh, I'm out of here."
Out of here.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, it was healing energies, you know, right?"
Yeah.
And then there's another time. Okay, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos where I've got my turtles are in them.
No, no,
Okay,
I
so
haven't.
there's this awesome story. When I first moved down here, I was down here by myself. You know, it's like me and like the chair Dad died in, right? Like talk about being alone in an empty house, right? I didn't know anything. I was in a strange state. I don't know any people, nothing. And
Wow.
I look outside the front door, and I thought it was like in the middle of right in front of my house. I thought it was like a tarantula sitting up on a rock, and his like legs just went all the way to the ground. But it turned out to be this tortoise. And so I pick up the tortoise, I bring it up to the sidewalk, and I look up on my phone, what do they eat? And I go inside, I get a piece of broccoli. This turtle eats the broccoli, and just is like, oh wow, that's good. And he walks right all the way up my front sidewalk, climbs up the stairs, walks into the house. I'm staying.
You're
Right?
kidding.
Nope. This turtle just flat out moved in. So then, and I always joke because like, you know, they spend 90% of their life in a burrow. They're a burrowing animal.
Yeah.
And so these turtles have a 1,800 square foot burrow. They got the best burrow in town, right? That's what they say most of the time. And so then, about 6 weeks later, one of my friends comes down from Oregon. He's helping me to, you know, throw away stuff because Dad's a little bit of a hoarder. And he says,
Yeah.
"Hey, your turtle got out." And he comes walking up with it. And I walk up and I'm like, "That's not my turtle, right?" And it's like half the size of mine. I go, "Well, just set it down right there, just a minute." And I go inside, I get some fucking broccoli, I put it down in front of the thing. This turtle eats his broccoli. Wow. And he just walks up the sidewalk, up the stairs, and into the house. Same as the first one.
Wow.
Now,
That's
I don't know
weird.
nothing about California, right? I'm from Oregon. And so I live on a cul-de-sac. So I go to this neighbor kid. He's like 12 years old, has lived on his cul-de-sac his entire life. And I say, "You guys just got like turtles coming out of your ears around here? I mean, do I live on a turtle superhighway? Is it a turtle crossing? Like, what the fuck is going on?" And he says, "What are you talking about? I've never seen a turtle here as long as I've lived here."
No.
Yeah. So then he goes and takes it on himself. He goes to every one of the neighbors that lives on the street, says, "Hey, have you lost any turtles?" None of them. So
My goodness gracious me. So
yeah,
where do they come from?
right. So
Wow.
I get an Akashic Records reading from this guy, and he says they were waiting for me. They came here just because I was supposed to be here at this time, and they are, you know, this is so far west. By the time we got here, we were pretty much sick of the Indians, and I guess pretty nasty things happened in Lancaster 200 years ago.
Yeah.
So they are here transmuting the energy and releasing things that are trapped, and
Fantastic.
I'm helping them or whatever, or they're helping me. I'm not sure which. I just let them have the run of the house, and I got little babies and stuff now, and yeah, cool thing. But so
Beautiful story.
yeah, but so the reason I was telling you this story was because one of my friends does this thing called Yoga Nidra. It's a form of Ayurvedic healing, and
Yeah.
it's just like a guided meditation type of thing, and he does this Yoga Nidra on me, in my room, and the turtles are asleep. This is in January. They hibernate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got two parents and then two babies in a little cage. And so he does this yoga nidra on me, and as he's bringing me out of the yoga nidra, there's so much energy in the room that it woke up all four turtles out of not only a dead sleep, out of hibernation.
Wow.
Yeah. And then 3 hours later, they all went back to sleep because it wasn't time for them to get up yet. But just something with the energies of him just sitting on a chair saying words to me. And this is the same room that I do all my quantum healing sessions in. Nothing has ever happened with them at all. But just as whatever it was about this yoga nidra woke up all four turtles when he brought me out of it.
Sure.
That's so
Very
wild.
interesting. Yeah, that is wild.
So you know what I'm going to do? There's a so far off topic, but I mean, you got plenty of time, right? We're not going to run out of time or anything?
No, we're not going to run out of time, but I haven't got more than about 2.5 hours.
So my goal is that because the turtles sleep and hibernate so much, one of the things about them is that the females, they have like a special compartment. They could carry sperm around for up to 3 years because they're a desert animal. And so they'll just use it when it's going to be a good year.
So they'll use it when they need to fertilize their eggs.
Exactly. And so 1 year they may have no eggs, and another year they may lay 3 different clutches at 3 different times of the year. It just depends on the conditions and what they're going to be.
Wow. How's that for mutating to fit in with your environment? Eh?
Right. And the thing is this, the eggs don't hatch till like 3-4 months later. So they know what it's going to be 3 months from now.
Sure.
Somehow by the spring. I don't understand how it works exactly, but it's pretty cool. But
that's very cool.
One of the things I want to do on one of my sessions, I'll probably use my friend Vanessa for this one because she's kind of an animal empath.
Yeah.
But I want to connect with the female turtle. Make sure that life is good for her. She has everything she needs, blah, 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 like this, right?
Yeah.
But because I feel like they're a lot of the times you look at them and they're not awake, but they're not asleep. I've been told that there are in the seen and the unseen world, they're like astral projecting, right? These turtles, they live to be 80, 100 years old. It's one of the oldest lived animals. They're out of the predator-prey relationship. Nothing eats them. They don't eat anything but weeds. There's no competition for the weeds. So they are just like the chillest animal ever. And it's such a long lifetime. You come in to be a turtle to basically just meditate for 100 years. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try
and go around shifting energy.
Exactly. So I'm going to connect with the female, and I figure she has everything inside of her. I'm going to ask her if she has the ability to make me a miracle baby, either a two-headed turtle or an albino or something like that. Isn't that a cool experiment? It would be up to her, and I don't know if she has the capability to do it. I'm not trying to use any other forces outside of her, but she has everything inside of her she needs. So maybe she can make it together. Last time she had babies, I had twins, identical twins that if they'd have been in the same egg, would have been what I wanted. So that's how close we got the first year.
Wow.
And I hadn't even talked to her yet.
Wow. Yeah, but you don't need to because on the quantum level, it's already happening.
Right, because I've been wanting it. It was something that was on my mind. Sure.
Yeah.
But we're going to see if we can, in one of the sessions, we'll actually do a thing where like I connect and talk to the turtle. Maybe I'll talk to the dog too or something too, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to get to know you just a little bit here. Let's make sure we understand. First of all, tell me about how you had your awakening and when was it?
My awakening?
Yeah. Were you always awake or what? Most people have a good story around
No, I wasn't really always awake, but I was always very connected. So from childhood, I was sensitive to energies and saw things and felt things. My mother was also sensitive. I grew up in a Christian home, went the whole usual in the Methodist church, became, what do they call it? Where you confirmed. So you do your, you do your Bible studies and everything, and then you get confirmed. And then I said to my mom and dad, I was 16, I said, that's it, I'm done, no more church for me. I never stopped believing in God.
Right.
But I was just not interested in being in the church anymore. So, and it's not like my folks were religious. They were actually very tolerant. And, I had a very vivid imagination as a child. I grew up as an only child. I have 3 older brothers. And by the time I was 6, they were all out of the house. And my dad worked night shift. So my mom and I were pretty much alone in sort of working hours, waking hours, because my dad would be sleeping. Right. So I developed a great sense of imagination, but I also, for instance, I had a make-believe friend who I know now is not a make-believe friend, was a guardian who was with me from as long as I can remember, until the age of about 8. And my mom never dissed it. She never said, hey?
You don't have that guardian? You don't notice that guardian?
Not that particular one anymore, no.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And my mom never, ridiculed me or said, stop talking nonsense. If I told her that my friend was here, she would lay the table for the 3 of us, allow me to be like that. So that's the kind of background that I was in. My folks were active in the church, but they weren't fanatically religious, but just good believers. Then I kind of like drifted away from that, but not from believing in a higher power. And then when I was 30, I had an experience that really switched me on to the greater power. And that's basically where I started this journey again. But my journey has really gone full circle. As a teenager, I was very interested in Theosophical Society and the Rosicrucians and, a lot of sort of esoteric, Gnostic kind of stuff. Yeah, then I'd say probably about 18 years ago, I went off on a very, very singular journey with spirit. And that's been the foundation and the basis of where I am today. So all my experiences have been really and truly one-on-one, no training from other people, no courses, no, it's all been experiential. And yeah,
you started the Code Breakers thing, or got into that?
No, my code scribing only started in 2017. Hey? But now the interesting thing is, when I had my sort of real awakening to this path that I'm on was in 1986, and about a year later I received a light language where I could sing in a language that I didn't understand, but I used it. So when I did whatever spiritual practice I was doing, I used the light language.
You use it in healing,
Hey?
Do you use it as a healer?
Yes.
Okay.
I always have.
Okay.
So whenever I was confronted with the situations, I've always been an empath, and I've always done healing, and I've always been able to help people, especially if they're troubled with dark energies. I understand that. That's kind of like been my training. It's just the way it's been. I never participated in anything dark myself, but I knew it and I knew of it and I recognized it, and I've been able to help people who are trapped in it. So with the light language, if ever I came upon a situation where somebody needed help, I would automatically just go into high gear with my light language. And then when I started scribing in 2017, that was after I'd gone on a shamanic journey to get answers for myself for a particular situation, completely non-related to codes or light language or anything. And in that shamanic journey, I encountered 13 light beings who were pure light. They were shining, shimmering like diamonds, but not, and like silver, but not, like platinum, but you know, it was just a hey.
You know where they were from?
No, they didn't reveal to me where they were from, but they were dressed in like robes with hoods on, and I knew at the time that they presented themselves like that so that I would recognize them in human form, but that their bodies were actually true light, just light essence. And they gave me codes. So I saw codes in my mind, and I said to them, well, what must I do with this? And they said, just remember them and meditate on them. So they gave me 3 codes in that first shamanic journey where I encountered them. And then 2 or 3 days later, I did another journey and I encountered them again, and they gave me another 3 codes. And I meditated on those codes for about 3 weeks, and then something in me triggered, and I just started coding, started scribing. And one of the codes that I received maybe a month or 2 later was a key for me to switch into sacred geometry. So most of my codes since then have been more sacred geometry with glyphs, rather than just asemic writing. So that's the story with the coding.
At first, and then it switched into geometry. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah. Other thing, I've always been connected, very, very connected to the earth and to Mother Nature. I remember as a little child, before I even understood things like that, I was doing shit that was shamanic. But, you know, growing up in Rhodesia, in a country where, you know, we only got TV in like 1962 or something. Nothing, no kind of exposure to this kind of thing. So it was all very unknown to me. But when I look back on my life, a lot of what I've experienced has been of a shamanic nature. So I know that I can, you know, I can go to the upper worlds and the middle world and the underworld.
Okay, that's really cool. You know, one thing that I've had come through in some of my sessions is that everybody has kind of their own modality inside of them that can be brought out, you know, and that's what spirit would really like to see. You know, if you want to go learn, you know, Reiki or somebody else's thing, of course that's better than nothing, but it is nice when people can kind of develop their own unique talents and skills. I think that's
I think so, because that's the gifts that's been placed inside of you. You know, it is who you are.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's look at some of your questions here. And so what I kind of wrote down a couple questions to kind of go with that awakening story too, just anything that I thought was curious. And I'm sure you don't mind if I ask things that come to my mind as well, right?
I don't mind.
Is there a dragon portal? And if so, does it need to be activated? Interesting. Interesting. What makes you think of that?
You know, Kelly, I find that when you need to know something, stuff comes to you. And I always run it by my own spirit, and if it feels right, then I pursue it. If I've got any kind of hesitation, I let it go. But 2 days ago, I read somewhere that many of us are being sent to specific areas because there are portals that need to be either opened and activated, or they need to be closed and the negative energies that are using them need to be contained and removed.
Very interesting.
Funds just go with a friend.
Right. And when there, you would like open portals or close portals or something like that as well.
Yeah, just to activate ley lines and do the good work on the land. Because so my story is I've been nomadic for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Spirit say to me, you need to pack up your house and be ready to go wherever I send you. And I was like, no, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I'm comfortable. I've got a lovely home. I've got a studio because I'm an artist as well. And I was painting and I was very happy in my comfort zone. And the whole night there was like in my face, you need to pack up, you need to pack up, you've got to give notice here, you've got to put your stuff into storage, and you've got to be free to go. And I was like, I can't do this. And by the time I woke up the next morning after a very restless sleep, I knew that I didn't have a choice. So I gave notice to my landlord, and a month later all my stuff was in storage, and I've been traveling since then. I've had periods in between where I've stayed permanently in a place, but it's never really been longer than a year or two. And this is actually the first time that I'm back in my own home. I moved in 3 weeks ago, and I'm back and I'm settled. And so because of that, I haven't really been able to offer BQH sessions.
See what I'm going to do for you, if you like. I have several people that, everybody in our private group has been met because pretty much I've had a session with them. And there's several that are very, very easy people. Whereas like I would be hard. We have very easy people in there too. So if you want to have some success, I'll give you some people that's just guaranteed done deal for you, okay?
Fantastic.
And they will be more than happy to work.
I'd love that.
And yes, and they'll just do whatever Kelly says because they love me, and great things have happened since we're together, right? It's like you're gonna, right? I love you. We're gonna be great friends. I already know, right? So, I'm certainly happy to help you in any way of your growth that I can.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and then the other thing is hopefully you'll want to, I don't know, maybe do whatever, if there's anything you can do to me other than BQH, that can be done remotely, I would love to swap a session with you. And,
fantastic. I can do a soul expression code for you.
Oh, that sounds so fun. Okay. And,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you meditate every day still now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much you can get into a state for this type of traveling in, say, 5 to 10 minutes pretty quickly and easily?
Yeah, usually. Christelle and I have a keyword.
What is it?
And she just uses my keyword. So that is a word that she and I use. We can look at something like that. We can have a keyword. Yeah. And we can see how the induction goes this evening.
What's the first thing you see, Leo?
So there's a very deep, dark purple sky. I see an expanse of water in front of me. Mm-hmm. And this water is very still and calm. It's almost mirror-like. Mm-hmm. And it has a dark color to it with sort of a hint of turquoise.
Interesting.
Silhouetted in the distance is a very tall peak, an island in this expanse of water. Mm-hmm. And if I look to my left and my right, I see silhouettes of other like hills or high structures, but they're natural formations, rock-like structures. They're above this tall peak in what appears to be an island in this water. Mm-hmm. There is a very bright, iridescent silver light, which is at the top of the peak.
Oh, Okay, and that's on the island, right?
Yes, on the island.
What color is the light?
It's like silver, platinum, almost white, but not quite white.
Right, right, right.
And it seems to be, it doesn't pulse, but it's not still.
Right,
So there's like movement. Say again?
like it's flickering or something like that.
It's not quite flickering. It's almost as though it gently pulses and glows. So comes out and recedes a little bit. Yo, my body is vibrating like anything.
Tell me about your body. What's it like? What do your feet look like? Do you have feet?
I actually don't see feet.
Okay. And if you were to try to hold hands in front of your face, would you have hands?
No, I don't have hands.
So the body is pulsating. So would you say that you are like an energy field or something like that then? Just pure
I
consciousness?
feel like I'm vibrating. Yeah.
Mhm. Very interesting. Okay. And we're going to go explore this island in a moment, but I just want to get a look at everything first before we do. At this, you were talking about the sky. Can you describe that to me just a little bit more?
So it's quite a deep purple, and it has where we would see white clouds in a blue sky, I see like very, very dark clouds
Mhm.
in a purple sky.
Okay.
So the purple is quite rich and the clouds are quite dark. So they're like a darker purple, almost black.
Does it seem calm?
And
Like,
they seem to be in sheets. So they're not, they're not fluffy clouds. They're like sheets of clouds.
okay. Do we feel like there's maybe bad weather coming in, or is this just how it normally is?
No, I think this is how it normally is.
Okay. And it sounds like, well, would you say we're on Earth right now?
Definitely not.
Okay. And what does the ground look like? What color is it? And what type of terrain?
I don't know if it's nighttime, but everything is quite dark, but also has a light that is coming out, almost a luminescence that comes from within. So it's like the light source is from within rather than without, not a sun.
So when you look at the sky, you don't see a sun or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I see this silver white light above the island peak,
We're
but I
going,
don't see. That's why it's kind of like feels to me that it's nighttime, but not.
right.
I don't know.
We find that a lot of these planets will have a tendency to vibrate to a certain ray, either based on the planet itself or the sun in its solar system. It sounds like to me you're saying that this planet would vibrate towards a not just a purple, but like a dark purple color. Would you say that's right?
Yeah, I'd say that's right.
Okay.
And it's not a magenta purple. It's more towards a blue purple.
Mm. And this is kind of it's represented in all facets of the planet, right? The ground, the sky, the water, everything, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I can see distinction between sky and water and earth
Mhm.
or rock, but it's all very much the same sort of hue.
Right. There's like a commonality to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was feeling as well. Now, before we go check out this island and the pretty light at the top of the hill there, just want you to take a moment to just look all the way around you in a complete 360 circle. And let's just make sure there's not anything interesting that we would want to go explore before we go look at this island. Anything that catches your eye or stands out?
I see a waterfall.
Tell me about it.
It's not, it's almost like it's almost like sheets of glass, the way the water is coming down. So it's not what we would typically see on planet Earth, where there's like the tumultuousness of water. It's like it cascades in sheets.
Almost crystalline.
Yeah, exactly that, crystalline.
Do you think it's safe, like, for you to put your hand in the water and see what it feels like? Is it hot or cold, or what impressions do you get from it?
It's quite far away from me, so I need to move closer.
Sure. And as you're moving, what kind of a sensation of movement do you have? Are you just floating over the ground? Is that what it is?
I'm there instantly. It's like a thought process.
Perfect. We like that. All right, so tell me your feelings about this water now that you're up close to it and you're able to examine it a little better.
So if I put my hand into it, it's weird. It's almost as though it's like it's solid, but when I put my hand in through it, I don't really feel a hand, but I do.
Wow.
So okay, so this is also like a thought process, because to feel what it feels like, I've got to extend a part of me. So
Right, so you create something.
create something.
Mhm.
And I feel it, but it's almost like I'm having flashes of, I can't tell you how my body's vibrating. I have flashes of, whoa. Like when you watch these movies where you're on the earth and there's like this wall in front of you and you put your hand in and you go into another dimension. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. What do you think would happen if you were to, like, stick your head through the waterfall and kind of like look on the other side? Do you think you would be transported somewhere?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's how it feels to me.
Yeah. So now we have to make a decision. We can check out the waterfall or we can check out the island. What calls to you more?
I'm feeling we need to establish what the light is at the island.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be there just a moment here. We're going to say 3, 2, 1. Be there now. And tell me what you're experiencing and seeing, Leon.
All right, it's very, very smooth.
Mhm.
It's glass-like. Yo. Okay, there is something inside here which is creating energy.
Mhm.
There's like a dynamo
Mm.
or the word turbine comes to mind, but it's not a turbine, because turbine for me has a connotation of being something that is cumbersome and large and mechanical.
Right. But you're saying this has a rotational feel to it, though. It's spinning.
Yeah, it's kind of like spinning, but it's also, yeah, it's creating, but not in a way that I'm familiar with in my,
Mhm.
in my logical mind.
Sure.
Let me just feel into this.
And we'll just take a moment to ask the higher self to help us to set the ego aside and bring forward the creative part of the mind that will allow us to just use our knowing and get a full experience for what we're seeing and trust everything that we're feeling. Right now, you're like floating and you're looking at this from above the mountain or from the side or from the front or the back? How's your perspective right now?
I'm not on the level of the water and the land that I arrived at. So I'm kind of like halfway up, but I'm seeing into the mountain.
Interesting. So you can see right through the rocks, essentially.
Can see into it. Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's almost as though it's glass.
Mhm.
And I'm getting a sensation of like starlight. It's almost as though it is sparks of starlight which create the energy within this mountain.
Mm. So does this mountain feel like a volcano to you or something like that?
No,
Okay. Does this feel like a place of creation where all the
there's
life?
definitely, yeah, there's definitely like an energetic dynamo swirling of something within the mountain.
And when you touch the sides of the mountain, is it smooth or rough? How's the texture of it?
Very smooth.
Okay. Does it feel
It's
like
cool. It's glass-like.
like marble or crystal or like glass?
Kind of like has the feel of glass,
Mhm.
crystal,
Interesting.
not marble, because marble
Mhm.
is more dense. This is quite, there's this luminescence about this place.
And the energy that's coming out of the top, does that seem to originate from the bottom? If you look down at the base, is it coming upwards or is this energy going from the top and going downwards? What direction? Or both?
It feels to me as though this is almost like a ball or a sphere that is vibrating and rotating at phenomenal speed, for want of a better word. And it is suspended above, so it's there permanently.
Hmm. Almost like some form of gravity or a magnetic field or something is holding it in place.
Something's holding it in place, and I'm getting that it is like a beacon. So it shows where this energy creation is.
This makes sense because this is why we ended up here, because we were drawn to the beacon, right?
Yeah,
Like whatever it is supposed to do, it is just done
yeah,
for us,
that's it.
right?
Yeah,
What are you seeing? What are you realizing? What is the purpose of this beacon?
it's for mapping.
It's for mapping. Do you sense any forms of life around you at all? Anything living or with a consciousness or sentience?
The whole mountain and
That's
everything that's happening in it
okay.
is sentient.
Okay. So let's connect with the mountain and say hello there, mountain. Would you like to talk to us? Can we communicate with you today?
I'm not getting any kind of connection, but I'm very much aware of like rivers that flow under the mountain.
Let's go check them out. Let's see what they look like. So you want to go look at these rivers real quick?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's just see what that's
Okay.
about.
So these same sort of stars that I saw that are inside here,
Mhm.
that creates the energy, it's kind of like they get dumped into the river.
Wow.
So the river is glistening. It's all under, but it's under the surface of everything.
Mhm.
And these waters glisten with the stars.
Are you still like vibrating like you were when we first got here?
Not quite as intensely.
Okay. It seemed like that was more intense when you're over by the waterfall, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, very interesting. But being now that we're down at the base of the mountain, it's not the same type of feeling.
no, I don't have the same vibration.
And you were saying that this had something to do with mapping? Can you explain that a little better? Like for who? For what? How?
So this appears to be a place where, I don't know if it is craft or if it is spheres,
Mhm.
can come and like tap in and be regenerated.
Oh, almost like a gas station.
Like a filling station, yeah, like a gas station.
Oh, that's really cool. And they would just use the energy that's floating up at the top. They would just kind of like hover over it and collect it from there, I guess.
Yeah, it's like that is the light that can be seen from very, very far away, and they would be able to come into it, hover over it, and the energy which is inside will be drawn up into whatever it is that's hovering there. I'm not quite sure if it feels like spheres to me rather than craft.
Right, right. These light spheres, we've used them in our trips before, and in fact, we may get you one of them one of these days here. Might do it right now for that matter.
Yeah,
So it's
this is
like
what
a
it.
what?
It's like a bubble kind of thing.
Hmm?
And oh wow, it's beautiful. Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
it's
Okay,
sentient.
there's the vibration again.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very high. So the surface of the sphere, wow. The surface of the sphere appears the same as when you throw petrol into water.
Oh, right, that kind of multicolor thing.
Yeah, and it moves and glows, and
Can
the
you?
colors merge and then they separate, and it's raw. It's so iridescent. And colors like we don't always see.
Mhm.
Wow.
These spheres can change its color at will, I believe, and it could change its size as well too. You
Yeah,
believe that?
it's very, very alive, very vibrant, very and sentient. So there's
Yeah, right.
yeah.
And you feel okay to just kind of reach out and touch the sphere? Let's connect to it and see what we find out.
Yeah, I just like slip into it. It's like
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
it's almost like I'm one with it, that I'm not,
Okay.
what it is what I am. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't feel myself as something else within it.
We will call them a star vehicle sometimes. It's your personal sphere. You've just made this. We're gonna, at the end of our session, we'll find a place to store it and you'll be able to call it whenever you want to, I believe. But let's ask this one just to make sure. Is this the personal transportation device for Leon?
Yes, it is.
And do you generally resonate towards male or female energies?
Male,
Okay, thank you. And am I correct when I think that Leon can summon you whenever she wants?
indeed.
Okay, and that whenever she doesn't summon you, you're just sitting around bored and you don't got anything to do, right? That's what some of them have told us. Some of these craft, they say, "No, use me. I want to have a reason and a purpose," right? Now, we had some places that we wanted to go today, but since this is our first time meeting you, is there somewhere that you thought we should go? Somewhere you wanted to take us to for our first trip as new friends?
The, the waterfall is a good place.
Okay, let's go to the waterfall then. 1, 3, 2, 1. Be there now. And what are we to learn about this waterfall?
I have a tingling over my head.
Mm-hmm. You in the waterfall?
I'm behind the waterfall.
Oh, what's the other side of it look like?
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. It's
How's it
almost
feel?
like I can't keep my eyes open. I have to shield. I feel
Mm.
like I want to put my hands over my eyes, but it's
Hmm.
like I don't really have eyes.
You are protected at all times. You can make yourself unobservable. There's many, many powers to this vehicle that you will discover as you go on. But I don't want to ruin all the surprises for you just yet. But just know that you're safe. Hey, have we traveled by going through the waterfall? Have we gone to another place now?
Yes,
Okay. And where is this place that we're at now?
it's the Hall of Remembrance.
Oh, is this the same thing as like the Akashic Records? Or is that different?
Different.
Okay. And what is the significance of the Hall of Remembrance for Leon?
She needs to remember
Who she is? What her mission is? What?
where she's come from.
Hmm. Where did she come from?
And her gift is to physically be on the earth to activate.
Right. So this is the most important function that she can do for the planet and what we call the event.
Yes.
Okay. And by doing this, she's activating parts of the planet that have been dormant, and this will help to bring about what we call the events faster. Is that right?
The linear time is not important.
Right.
The action and the connection
Mhm.
and the activating
Mhm.
of areas
Mhm.
and of people
Mhm.
and of anchoring codes
Mhm.
and of connecting to source
Mhm.
and to place of origin
Okay.
is more important.
Okay.
The unfolding and the event, as so many choose
Mhm.
to call it,
Mhm.
is important, obviously,
To a lot of
but
people.
it is, yeah, but it is not the crux of her mission.
Right. Right. It's more of a like a side effect of right actions.
Yes,
Okay.
it's necessary.
Okay. Because we've heard that there's issues with the whole galaxy and even the universe to a certain extent. I mean, it's not just the Earth that is relying on this, right?
Absolutely,
Okay. Thank you. By the way, who am I talking
absolutely.
to right now?
This is Leonie's higher self.
Okay. Thank you. Very nice to meet you, Leonie's higher self.
Nice to
My name is
meet you.
Kelly. I hope that we will get to talk many, many more times. I get a wonderful, beautiful energy from you, by the way. Um, and first of all, can you start a body scan on her, please? And or if you haven't, have you already done that?
No,
Okay. Would you do that, please? And if there's anything that needs healing as you're going along, please just let me know about it. I like to hear about those type of things, and I want people at home to know about it too. And is it okay if I continue to ask you some questions while that body scan is going on?
yes, that's fine.
Thank you very much. She has a few that she has prepared here. So let me go back to the beginning. Okay, so her first question is about, she's been feeling some dragons around her kind of recently. Is that something that was always around her and she just didn't notice before? Or is it something that's actually come recently?
They've always been there,
Mhm.
but have not made their presence felt.
Mhm. And that was on purpose,
Yes,
okay? Because the time wasn't quite right yet. So it wasn't like she just wasn't noticing it. They weren't trying yet.
that is right. When they
Cool.
started making their presence felt, she noticed,
Mhm. Okay,
but
perfect.
also didn't choose to connect immediately.
Yes. But now she is choosing to connect with them. Is that right?
Fully, yes.
Okay. Is there anything we can do today in this session to help to strengthen that connection and make it easier for her to communicate with them?
What was shown to her in meditation the other day is one way.
Okay.
The sensation in her body
Mhm.
that she's been feeling for a number of years is the trigger.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Is that anywhere near Lyra?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And because Lyra is kind of there's a lot of planets and satellites and things like this in that area, right? It's very like
The
a little.
origin of all is from Lyra.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. Yeah, because it's really kind of a real centralized area, isn't it? It
Yes.
seems like Lyra is always on the way to wherever I want to go.
It doesn't contain a space,
Hmm.
so it's not held within a space.
Interesting.
It is there.
Wow. So Lyra can be anywhere.
It's
That's
the
so hard for me.
fluidity.
Okay. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around that. It's a very neat concept. Thank you, Leone's higher self. All right. Is there anything else that, like, why did the dragons choose this time to come forward and make their presence known? Wow. So that means she is like a really, really old soul, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Um, Maybe you can answer a question for me about a dragon. In my first session, I had a vision of a dragon. It didn't move or didn't do anything. It was just there, big giant black dragon. Somebody had told me once that it was like a cocoon or something like that. Is there anything you can tell me about that vision that I had of a dragon?
Many of the dragons are asleep. They are hibernating.
Hmm.
And they're waiting for a time that they will be awoken and activated.
Okay. So that's just what that was letting me know, is that there's something there and it's just waiting for its time.
Yes, this is true.
Okay. Thank you. Very interesting. We've heard the same thing about some giants as well. There's a lot of giants in stasis. And would they be waiting for the same time as the dragons are waiting for?
Yes, many will awaken at the same time.
Okay, perfect. Um, the trip to Cape Town, is that within the flow or is that something she should put off?
It is within the flow.
Okay, thank you. And she's going to get the help she needs to make that trip happen shortly?
Yes, and as always, it will be a surprise.
You know how we feel about surprises sometimes, right? We get impatient.
Yeah, and she is.
Thank you very much. I'll have a lot of fun talking to you. Okay, so just a moment here. Oh, where does well, first of all, the codes that she gets, is that coming from her family? Is it coming from Lyra? Is it coming from Source? Where do those codes come from?
Some are from Source.
Mhm.
All is from Source.
Mm-hmm.
Specifics, at times from Lyra.
Okay. Is there anything that she can do to understand the meaning of those better as they're coming in?
Her understanding and interpretation of the light language and codes will expand once she deepens her connection to Lyra
Mhm.
and as she travels more.
That would be a good next trip for us.
Perfect trip, yes.
Oh, thank you so much. By the way, how is it? You know, we felt so much synchronicity about Leone and myself meeting. Can you talk to me about that? Why we have such a feeling of synchronicity for that? And why we were brought together?
Those who are in the same soul monad are connecting
Okay.
at a phenomenal rate.
Okay.
And you could best describe it if you have a very, very large expanse. Whoa, there my body starts vibrating again. Wow.
I just feel it, allow it, absorb it.
Okay, so if you have a very large expanse of, okay, picture this, a parachute net. So when the guys wrap their parachutes up, the first thing they do is they lay it out. And they check that all the threads are there and that nothing is twisted, so that the way they roll the parachute up, when it needs to be released, it'll release without being jerked or knotted or anything like that. So if you imagine the most massive parachute that you could, it's like covers the earth. And if you see the threads that are in that and they're laid out, and whoever is picking up that parachute, so they're lying there. Wow, this is so beautiful to see. They're lying there and they're still and they're just lying there. And then these huge hands come and pick the parachute up. And as it's picked up, they're all drawn up, like very quickly. And the parachute is, as you would wrap a parachute to put it in the bag, to put on your back, that's the same way the threads are of people that are connected in a soul monad are being lifted up quickly. It's like, woo! And there you are. And you connect.
Right. So many are being brought to us now.
I beg your pardon?
I'm just seeing so many of these people coming to me, and they're coming to me so fast.
Yes, this is exactly it. So they're like the threads of the parachute being lifted up into one, bundled up together in the bag, in the mission, on the mission.
Okay. So I'm meant to help her with her mission, and she's meant to help me with mine, or whatever.
Yes.
Super cool. And so when we're doing the time travel and the exploration and things like this, she'll be a great member of that team as well.
Absolutely. It's very much a two-way street here, because the gifts of both will be shared and will be imparted to everybody who's involved with the various missions. So with the quantum travel, as well as with the grid work that Leonie is going to be doing with others as well.
Right, because all our people in the quantum travel group will be beneficial with grid work too.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Not all of them will be on board, and not all of them are called to the grid work.
Right.
But certainly, and on the other foot, there are people that are already in the grid work project that are going to
want to cross over
to do the quantum travel.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, of course, everybody will be welcome. And boy, that's just so neat. And so if we were to say, in terms of the quantum travel, we want to send teams of people in eventually to certain locations. And we'd like to think of everybody as having their own kind of special talent or skill for the team in that situation. Could we say what would Leonie's best talent be in that regards?
The ability to see, so the visualization.
Yeah, she does describe things very well.
And also to be, okay, this is kind of like, it's weird. Like in the wall. Does that make sense? In the wall.
Yes, because so many of these walls, like the megalithic constructs that we see around the world, have really very mysterious origins to them, and essentially neat properties to them which are unknown to us at this time. And so we need somebody to be able to enter the wall, to join with it, to become one with it, and therefore understand it and describe it to us.
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like in the wall.
Okay. Oh
I'm
God,
getting that strongly in the
I've
wall.
been having a vision of this for a while, that somehow somebody was going to be able to do that, and I just never thought it was real. It was like this little tickle at the back of my brain. I'm so jealous. I would love to have that one. I love the walls. Okay, so
Cool.
yes, I'm so thankful for this meeting today. How is that body scan coming along? Is there anything we can talk about there?
There is a little bit of there's like blockages
Mhm.
in between. It's not in root and it's not in sacral, but between root and sacral. And that is to do with flow of abundance. That needs to be removed.
Right, so she can travel better, right?
Yeah.
All right, I would like to request that this is removed at this time in such a way that serves our highest good. Any spaces that are left behind by this blockage, we'd like for it to be filled up with light, and so that it flows in the most perfect way that serves Leonie's mission and everyone else's. And I'll also like to ask if any blockages can be removed for me that are holding back our joint mission at all. Don't serve my highest good. Are you able to do that?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
I can feel it. God, I just love your energy. Well, I love everybody's energy, right? Oh, hey, by the way, is
Okay,
there?
I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, now Lee, just when you get up to go to the bathroom, take your time. You might be a little dizzy. We're not going to bring you out of trance, so just be slow about it. And then when you sit back down, just let me know, okay?
Okay,
All right,
I'll be back now.
no problem. Go, but take your time. Jesus, you can't see him, huh? What can you tell us about that energy and its involvement with our team moving forward?
Please give me the name again.
Hope, Hope. It's an energy from Arcturus. It's a female energy.
This is angelic realm.
Mm-hmm. Sounds right.
Very soft, gentle energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing like a peachy pink ray.
Mm-hmm. We believe she's a star as well. Much like Gaia is a planet.
Yes.
It was like a light purple or pink star. And the thing it reminded me was because the first planet we went to with you when we went to Alcyone, it was that dark purple planet. And so that's what kind of reminded me of this hope energy that we recently met.
Yeah, so I'm seeing a very long, narrow, elongated star. So like a diamond,
Mm-hmm.
but very long and narrow, with just small points coming out from the left and right, just below the top point. And likewise on the bottom is elongated much more than the
Right,
top.
right. Okay. So then would it be spinning?
I don't see her spinning. I see it quite stationary.
And inside the diamond, I believe we were in it just yesterday, having like a meeting with a bunch of other people. Hmm?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be going to some cool places, Leonie. I hope you're ready to have your mind blown on the regular.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're seeing.
I'm seeing a platinum table,
Uh-huh.
but it doesn't have legs. It's just there
Okay.
with people sitting around it.
Yeah.
Not people, more like, it's like the League of Nations.
Right. And all super high vibrating
Yeah.
beings. Do they notice you
Yeah,
there?
very much. Yes, they're aware of me.
Okay, good. And they don't mind that you're there?
No, they don't.
Good. We're glad for that. Okay, so let's focus back on this Hall of Records for now. We just wanted to explore that for a moment. So let me ask you something, Leonie. Would you like to continue asking some questions to the higher self, or do you want to maybe go take a moment and explore Rapa Nui?
Rapa Nui is for another time.
Okay, that's what I thought. I had that feeling. Darn, I never get there. All set to put that one.
We will. We will.
Good, thank you. Wow. Oh my goodness, this is so mind-blowing. Okay. So now I want to talk about when Leonie was a child, she had a guardian, or like we call imaginary friend, up until the age of 8, and then it was gone, or seemed to be gone. Can you tell me what happened with that and what was going on there? Why the transition?
That was what Leonie referred to as Dahlia.
Mm-hmm.
And this guardian has always been with her, but it wasn't necessary for her presence to be so felt by Leonie. Kind of like a little nudge from behind. It's like, there you go, off you go. So she was ready.
Right, because it would take away from her ability to discover and learn and grow in her own way if it was there.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly right.
That's really cool.
But she's still part of her life.
So a lot of kids that have these kind of guardians and imaginary friends, we'll call them, when they leave them, they never actually leave. And the child hasn't done anything wrong or betrayed them. It's just time for you to fly, to get pushed out of the nest, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want people that are hearing that to know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's any kids listening out there that suddenly stopped hearing from their imaginary friends, that's why you're old enough. You didn't need them anymore. You can get new ones. And okay. And so you say that she's, as we go on trips and to know the meanings of her light language and her codes even better over time, right?
Yes.
Okay. When she went on a shamanic journey for the first time, she met some light beings. Can you tell us what those were and what the significance of those?
Those are her family from Lyra. And these are the ones that she needs to connect with more.
Okay. Like in meditation?
Yes.
Or should we just go flat visit them on Lyra? Are they still
there?
We will. Okay. Super cool. Right. And how many of them are there in that family group? Is that like 6, 5, 8?
In that group, Leonie saw 13.
Ooh.
12 are family, and the 13th is Leonie from a future life.
Wow. Okay. By the way, I've been thinking of doing a thing in my inductions where I join up like the past generations with the future generations, try to get them in a line and in sync with each other somehow. Is this something that is a good idea to do for me, for everybody?
Not for everybody. You will be guided and know when it is applicable in a particular situation.
Okay.
But it's certainly something to work with. Because after all, there is no time, there is no space. There is no, it is.
Okay. But for some people, there is a benefit to doing that.
Yes.
Okay. And the time to do that would be during an induction. Is that a good time to do it, or does it stretch out the induction too far?
Not in the induction.
Okay. I'll do it some other time in some other way. Thank you. I appreciate the advice and the guidance on that. Also, when I had done it for my friend, I had asked for kind of like the 7 future generations and the 7 past generations because I didn't want to overwhelm her, but I feel like also I might have been limiting her by doing that. Can you give me guidance on that? What I should ask for? What is appropriate?
7 is good.
Okay, thank you. And then she said that she noticed a lot of other beings gathering around when we were doing that. Would that have been just some guides, or that would have been other generations, or what else was gathering around that we didn't call in?
Curious observers.
Oh, okay. How cool. So people noticed what we were doing, huh?
When you're working with these energies and tapping in,
Mhm.
it causes waves, frequencies,
Right. Okay.
and it will draw people.
You know, this is so interesting you say this, because we're experimenting. We don't know what we're doing. We're just like, hey, let's try something new, you know? And then when you notice other beings come by, you just think, oh, there has to be some kind of meaning to it, right? And it's really just, they're just curious. They're like, what are these guys doing, right?
Yes, sometimes they are there for a purpose, but if they have a purpose, you will know and you will feel, and they will communicate with you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I would have a feel for something like that for sure. Okay. And just a moment here. Oh, is there a ley line that runs through my house by any chance? I always felt like there was one, but I don't know if there was for sure.
There's not a ley line, but there's a vortex close by.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right by your house.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Do
a
I need to do
backyard.
something?
There's a backyard.
There's a vortex in the backyard?
Is there a backyard? Do you have a
Yes.
large backyard?
Yeah, pretty big. That's where I put the turtles out during the summer. I put them in the backyard, and I've been planning to grow a bunch of new plants there this year.
There's high energy there.
Okay. It's in the high desert, and I kind of feel like a connection to the whole desert as a whole, really. Like there's a personality that goes through the desert, the Mojave Desert.
It's very similar to the kind of personality that runs through the Kalahari Desert in Namibia.
Oh, how interesting. So is that something that Leone and I should be connecting with, those personalities?
That will come naturally when you are doing the work there.
Okay. And then for the vortex that's near me, do I need to do any kind of an activation or deactivation, or is there anything I can do to help that vortex in any way, or the land that I live on in any way and around?
You can always connect more deeply with
Mm-hmm.
the land there around your home.
Mm-hmm.
Meditate on it.
Okay.
I see you lying flat on your back,
Mm-hmm.
like you would when you make a snow angel with your arms and legs outstretched.
Uh-huh.
If you do that at nighttime, at dark night, dark skies,
Oh, wow. Okay. So then I can't tell everybody I'm trying to get a suntan if they see me. That's unfortunate. What are you doing, gal?
Moontans are also good.
A night tan. Yeah, I'm getting a night tan. Okay. Now, I'm almost done with questions here for Leone. I don't want to tax her too much. I know we're having some really incredible energies and information coming through today. One last thing I just want to ask is there, okay, well, and I'll ask this for both of us. I feel like when Leone goes to Namibia, she might find some, maybe a giant skeleton or some dinosaur bones or anything like that. Is she going to discover anything there other than just the vortexes?
She's been called specifically to what they call dinosaur footprints.
Mm-hmm.
These are, in fact, dragon footprints.
Wow. Okay. Well, I hope she
And
takes.
there is definitely a connection between that and giant stones. She needs to research more.
Giant, so dragon footprints and giant stones, because the giant stones, they're stones now, but they weren't always stones, huh?
Yes.
Okay. right? And then for me, I would like to, I'm trying to find some kind of physical evidence of this great work that we do. To me, the thing that makes the most sense would be if I could find a giant skeleton somewhere near me that isn't, a million miles below the ground or a million miles up in the sky. You point me to a giant skeleton that I can find that is near me.
It's not near you.
Mm-hmm. But it's something I can get to. What? God, I wish I could see you right now.
I see you in a very small boat on a very stormy sea.
Oh no!
On your way to a place where there is a giant skeleton for you.
Is that?
But it's not a whole skeleton. It's just like a bone, but you'll know.
Okay. Is that on Catalina Island or somewhere around there?
No. No, it's far. It's far.
Oh my goodness, this sounds like a heck of an adventure just for one bone. No!
Well, you are determined, aren't you?
Yes, I am. You're right about that. You are right about that. Okay, well, I hope I get some guidance there and I know when to get on a boat and where to go then. Is there any other guidance or direction you can give me towards that project that I am very committed to?
Just keep your sights set on the goal, but don't let your eyes be blinded to the gifts that come along the way.
Right, because sometimes you have expectations of what you want, and sometimes it's the journey is more fun than the destination, right?
Exactly that.
Okay.
So you could miss out on some really fabulous gems that come your way if you're not open to seeing them.
Yes, if I'm too focused on, I've got to get to point A to point B, that's all I can do, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
All right, so what I need to do is, as I'm on my journey, I need to be ready to take detours and just go wherever my imagination goes or whatever catches my eye. Just not be afraid to just go and see what that's going to lead me to. I might find something completely different than what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. That sounds so fun. Right, is the body scan complete now for both of us?
Just let me do. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay.
So when I sent out healing rays for you, they were kind of like orange gold. Yeah.
Funny, I'm wearing an orange shirt today that you can't see, but I'm just putting that on the camera.
Wow.
And do you feel like those rays were accepted and were useful?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sometimes I feel like I'm subconsciously fighting against things that consciously I don't want to fight against. You know what I mean?
It's nothing major. This is nothing big. It's just small stuff.
Good. And it's one of the neat things about being healers, like both of us are, is that every time we do healing, we get some healing, right?
Yes.
And so we don't need to do a whole lot at any one time. And I hope that this abundance block that we cleared up for you today, it really helps to get things flowing for you, and we can all go on adventures together. Maybe you'll find a vein of gold or something when you're in Namibia. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be great. Couple of diamonds.
Well, if it happens, remember your boy Kelly, okay? I want to go to Ireland and in Rapa Nui and wherever we go, okay?
Yeah, many places.
Leonie's higher self, is there any message that you would like to give to Leonie, myself, or humanity as a whole that is watching right now before we finish? Maybe about the events or something like that?
It's important to remember to live in the now, not pay too much heed to hype about things. Just keep on doing what you feel in your heart to do.
Okay. Because if we look to the future, then the future will never happen because we didn't do the things right now that made it happen.
Yeah, that's so true.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to bring through today, or do you feel like we are complete? Is there anything we forgot to do?
I believe we're done.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Leonie's higher self, for coming through today and all the information that was given. I can't wait to work with both of you again in the future. You're both just wonderful, beautiful energies that I love so much. I'd like to ask at this time that everybody returns to their place of residence. I'd like for Leonie's higher self to, or her soul, to seat back in the body the proper way as it should be at this time.